guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to welcome all new subscribers. Yay, you. I hope that the videos will help you in your upcoming exam. Welcome back to all my returning subscribers. I want to thank you all for your support. In today's video, I want to cater to all the students who will be doing paper 3. I hope that you will find this video to be very beneficial. Now, paper 3 consists of 3 questions. You are expected to answer all 3 questions. For this paper, you will get 3 texts. The text can take the form of newspaper articles, songs, poems, diary entries, cartoons, letters, drama pieces, story extracts, and so on. Question 1 and 2 has 3 parts, so they have part A, part B, and part C. So in all, you'll have 6 questions to answer there. Question 3 is where you will write your creative piece based on the issue at hand. For the creative piece, you will use any of the following forms: drama, poetry, lyrics to a song, prose, or any other suitable form. For this video though, I will focus on question 1 and 2 and do question 3 in a follow-up video. So I'm sure that you want to answer the questions like a professional, right? Now, in order to answer the questions competently, there are things that you need to know beforehand. There are things that you need to know before going into the exam. So for question 1, there are 3 main things that you need to know. Once you know these 3 things, then you can answer the question just like that. So what I've noticed since they started doing paper 3 is that the questions are structured pretty much the same. So once you have an idea of how to answer these questions, you should pretty much have the thing locked, The only problem that I am foreseeing right now is comprehension. That is actually understanding the 3 pieces that you are given to analyze. Because sometimes you might read a poem that you don't really understand, you don't fully grasp what the poet is trying to say, or you might read a comprehension extract or an extract from a newspaper or something like that, and you don't fully understand. So that is the only problem that I'm seeing right now that you might have. But I think that if you practice answering these types of questions, it won't be so challenging. On all the past papers that I've seen so far, question 1, part A is asking for one thing. It asks you to outline the main idea or issue presented in each of the 3 texts. This therefore means that you need to know what a main idea is, and you need to also know how to identify main ideas in text. So after you have read the 3 pieces, you need to ask yourself the question, what did I just read? What was coming out of what I read? You need to ask yourself the question, and then you will have an idea of what to write. For part B of question 1, you need to know the appropriateness of the medium for communicating the specific issue. The medium is the form that the information was presented in. For example, the information can be presented in the form of a song, a poem, a newspaper article, a drama piece, and so on. So when they say appropriateness of medium or appropriateness of the text, they are actually saying, is this poem or song or newspaper article the best way of presenting this kind of information? For part C of the question, you need to know the language techniques and you need to know the effectiveness of their usage. It is important that you research the language techniques so that you are more familiar with them. Question 2, part A, requires that you know the difference between oral communication and written communication. Oral communication describes any type of interaction between individuals which makes use of words, body language, or gestures, and involves speaking and listening. Oral communication or nonverbal communication takes into consideration all of the following: posture, appearance, head movements, hand gestures, eye contact, facial expressions, touch, space, voice or sounds, and speaking style. On the other hand, written communication is any kind of interaction that involves the written word. For example, letters, emails, stories, newspaper articles, and so on. For part B of the question, you are required to list 3 points that you would discuss in an oral or written presentation. The points that you would list are based on the theme of the paper. For example, the theme of the paper is teenage pregnancy. You are going to list 3 points that you would discuss on that particular theme. Part C of the question will ask you for 2 things: the features of a group and the techniques to keep a group interested. So the features of a group is really your target audience. Who would you be directing your presentation to? Is it males? Are you directing it to females, 15 to 20-year-olds, teenagers, primary students, college students, policemen and women, your peers, doctors, or school dropouts? So it all depends on who you're directing your presentation to. For the techniques to keep your group interested, it all boils down to what you would use to hold the interest of your target audience. So would you be using visual aids? Would you be using props? Would you be transferring that vibrant energy towards your target audience? Or simply just allowing your audience to participate in your presentation? Now that we've gone through how to approach the questions, let's take a look at a sample paper. Read the 3 texts carefully and then answer the questions that follow. Text 1. Editorial from a newspaper. Discipline is the crux of the issue. It was triggered weeks ago when 2 female students wearing natural hair posted their pictures on Facebook, complaining that their principal expressed disapproval of their hairstyles. In an interview with this newspaper, the principal said her only edict, which she indicated clearly to students, was that they need to be neat and tidy in their school uniforms and that certain hairstyles were simply not appropriate for classes. We endorse these comments by the principal, whose intention, it appears, is to set standards for the school she leads and the students in her charge. Students need to clearly understand there are rules that govern the regular operation of schools and those that speak to the deportment of those attending these institutions. President of the National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations put the issue into perspective when she said this was not about hair, but discipline and respect for rules. We also agree with her on the point that schools are not just about the teaching of mathematics and English. Schools help prepare students for life. From schools, students go on to the world of work, and if they find it difficult to follow school rules, how will they fare on the job when there are regulations in place that must be obeyed? While there are natural rights and freedoms which cannot be suppressed, children in school must conform to the standards set. This issue came to the fore again just yesterday when this newspaper revealed that a new dress code was implemented for police officers, banning them from wearing dreadlocks, makeup, extreme hair color, or having visible tattoos. Some police officers are reportedly upset by the new rules outlined in a section of the RBPF policy on general appearance of police officers dated January 15, 2015. We do not believe the issue at hand is simply the wearing of natural hair. The larger point speaks to upholding discipline in society and the need for respect for rules and authority, whether it is in our schools or police force. Without these, we would be a lost society. Text 2 is a song by India Irie, I Am Not My Hair.
Little girl with a pressing curl, age 8 I had a Jerry curl, 13 then I got a relaxer, I was the source of so much laughter, 15 when it all went wrong, 18 when I went on natural, February 2002 I went on and did what I had to do, cause it was time to change my life, to become the woman that I am inside, 97 dreadlocks on God, looked in the mirror for the first time I saw that, hey, I am not my hair, I am not the skin, I am not your expectations, no, no, I am not my hair, I am not the skin, I am the soul that lives within. Good hair means curls and waves, no. Bad hair means you look like a slave, no. At the turn of the century, it's time for us to redefine who we be. You can stave it off like a South African beauty, got it on lock like Bob Marley. You can rock it straight like Oprah Winfrey. If it's not what's on your head, it's what's underneath. And say, I am not my hair, I am not the skin, I am not your expectations, no. I am not my hair, I am not the skin, I am the soul that lives within.
Text 3 is a poem by Sunkissed Gem titled Resilience. Perfectly patterned particles push perpetually, emerging, emancipated, elated, enthusiastic, pushing proudly up through layers upon layers of denial, past denaturing chemicals and excessive heat. Curls emerge triumphant, blatant refusal to be ignored. Blatant defiance of standards, despite countless chemicals and incessant heat, curls return. A complexly simple statement and reminder of identity and culture. Our hair is as our land is, as we are, ever beautifully resilient. You can always go back and listen to the recordings so that you can understand fully what the questions are asking you for. Now let's look at question 1. Question 1, part A, outline the main issue addressed in each of the 3 texts, and for this it is 6 marks. The main issue addressed in the editorial is the need for conformity to standards and for rules to be respected if we want to maintain discipline in the society. For text 2, the main issue that the artist addressed is that our hair does not define us. We are far more valuable than how we decide to style our hair. The main issue addressed in the poem is that the wearing of natural hairstyles is an expression of a person and cannot be denied. Here is a sample answer for question 1, part A. While the 3 stimulus pieces chosen deal with the topic of the wearing of natural hair, it is dealt with from varying perspectives. The editor who penned the newspaper editorial used the topic to address the issue of the need to conform to standards and show respect for rules and authority if we want to maintain discipline in our society. The poet's main issue is that wearing natural hairstyles is an expression of the person you are, and it cannot be denied. While in the lyrics to the song, the point is being made that who you are is much more important than how you choose to style your hair. Part B. For any one of the text given, assess the appropriateness of the medium for the purpose of communicating the specific issue. And this one is worth 3 marks. Here is a sample answer. In the song, the issue is presented through the use of rhythm, repetition of the idea of you being more than your hair, as well as the references made to well-known personalities. It is an entertaining way of dealing with a serious issue that would be appealing. Part C. For any 2 of the text given, choose one language technique used in each and explain its effectiveness. This question is worth 6 marks. Here is a sample answer. The writer in the article uses generalities, mentioning that students need to understand that there are rules that govern the regular operation of schools, and officers are expected not to just uphold the law, but also uphold discipline. Since most people would tend to agree with these statements, they are effective in persuading people to accept the argument. In the poem, the first 4 lines make use of alliteration. This technique helps to add emphasis and causes the reader to pay attention to the message as it creates a pleasant rhythmic effect. Question 2. Part A. State 3 features that distinguish an oral presentation from a written presentation. This is worth 6 marks. Here is a sample answer. 3 features that distinguish an oral presentation from a written presentation are: 1. The speaker can gauge audience reaction and adjust his message accordingly. 2. It allows for audience interaction and clarification of misunderstandings. 3. The voice can be used to create desired effect, and this can help to promote understanding of the message. Part B. You have been asked to make an oral presentation on one of the issues identified in 1A on page 5. List 3 points you would discuss in an oral presentation. This is worth 3 marks. Here is a sample answer. In a presentation on the issue of persons wearing natural hairstyles as an expression of who they are, I would make these 3 points. 1. This promotes an understanding of cultural diversity. 2. The texture of the hair allows for creativity in developing distinguished hairstyles. 3. It is a choice which supports a healthy approach to the treatment of your hair. Part C. Identify 3 features of the group to which the presentation would be made and 3 techniques that you would use to hold the attention of the group. This is worth 6 marks. Here is a sample answer. The oral presentation is being made to a group made up of 1. Females, 2. 14 to 16-year-olds, 3. Participants in a cosmetology course. The following techniques would be used to hold the attention of the group. 1. Integrate relevant, supportive, attractive visual aids, props, and samples to heighten the interest and stimulate the imagination of the audience to the possibilities of natural hairstyles. 2. Allow for audience participation through the use of hands-up feedback to questions, giving them an opportunity to feel connected to the issue. 3. Make eye contact and display enthusiasm to help to transfer some of my energy and interest to the audience. I hope that this presentation was helpful. If you have any questions, please send me a message on Facebook or send me a DM on Instagram, or you can just email me and I'll definitely respond to your questions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.